Hey friend, Josh here with the CPR Garage. This is not the episode I thought I'd be making this week, but here we are. This is my 78 F-150 that I bought in high school, recently big block swapped with a big block 460 that I built here on the channel. Real budget setup, had that on the dyno. Check out the videos here or here. I'll put a link up there for the playlist on that. Anyway, decided to pull this guy in for a little bit of maintenance. You know, I've been tuning on the carburetor and getting it pretty close. There'll be a video out on that soon. And it started to develop a little tick at idle on this driver's side. So I thought, okay, header bolt backed out a little bit, or one of the rockers backed off a little bit. It's got roller rockers on it, stud mount, you know, with the poly locks and all that. No big deal. Pull it in, you know, to see what's going on. Definitely noise under the valve cover. Take the valve covers off and have a look-see. And so I just took a... Do you guys know if comp cams, high energy die cast rockers are still made in the USA? Just, you know, asking for a friend.
I'm sorry, Clark.
This isn't the biggest bag over the head punch in the face I ever got. God damn it!
But anyway, let's get into what I found under here and how I'm fixing it. Hopefully for good and it doesn't happen again. All the same exact parts, except the rocker. I have an idea what went wrong here, but I'm going to wait for the next video because I want to hear what you all have to say about it. A lot of times there's pretty smart people in the comments. Let me know if you've had this issue and what you think about it after I'll lay all the evidence out for you in this one. And then in the next one, I'll present my case for what I think it is. And if somebody comes up with the same thing, or something that I see and I'm like, oh, that's a better hypothesis than what I have, I'll pin you in the comments. I'll pin the best comment to the top. So leave me a comment with what you think about it, or I don't know, just words of encouragement, something. Let's call this, I guess, my opening arguments. So here's the facts as I know them. What happened is the roller trunnion bearings right here in these rocker arms wore out prematurely. They're worn like as if they had 150,000 miles on them or whatever. This is a low RPM big block. It has a hydraulic flat tappet camshaft. Okay, here's Exhibit C. The cam card. This was a custom cam research hydraulic flat tappet. Okay. There's the specs. It's pretty mild.
I object, Your Honor!
Look at all those needles are still in there. That is an intact bearing. All I see are needles still in their cage. There's nothing wrong with these rockers. They were functioning just fine. Usually, when these needle bearings fail, you know, LS guys, you know, what happens is the needles wear down so far that the trunnion is no longer supported on the needles and actually starts to grind away at this outer shell until the shell can't hold them anymore and the needles start, rapidly ejecting themselves. They end up down in the oil pan, and if you don't catch it soon enough, you end up with a ruined motor. So yes, these don't look bad, like most criminals. By the time they show up to court and they're all cleaned up, got a fresh shave and the nicest dollar store, suit that you can get, they don't look like a criminal, but they are. I'm just having fun with it. There was no mechanical noises from the engine whatsoever. And it was kind of remarkable because a lot of times roller rockers will kind of make a sewing machine noise, because I guess it's a similar mechanical action. There was no noise whatsoever. So then when suddenly, over a short period of time, you then have a noise, you need to look into it and not just go, oh, that's just, those rockers are like that. These had about, we'll say 5,000 miles for argument's sake. It's not even that much. One afternoon on the dyno, and then about 4,000 or 5,000 miles in the truck. Not excessive idling, not stop and go, not situations where they would be starved for oil. So even though these bearings look fine, right? The movement that I wasn't sure about in the beginning, it's more than they had when I put them on there 5,000 miles ago. The Scorpion ones that I rebuilt and now put on there fit as tight as these ones did when I put them on there. So, there's my case. What else did I need to get into? The Scorpion rockers. Where the hell did those come from? They were for another engine project that you guys haven't seen yet. Only those were pedestal mount because that's what I needed for that application. I got a really good deal on those Scorpions, and that's because they came out of an engine that had a camshaft on break-in. It was a brand new engine, and it had a flat tappet cam and the pedestal mount rockers, and it ate some cam lobes. I don't know what exactly happened, but when it happened, the guy was done. He tore it all back down and got a roller cam, and he ordered like some trick flow heads, so he didn't need any of this stuff. So that's where you'll see this one that has damage. I don't know how many lobes got eaten on the camshaft, but this one that was powering this rocker did. See how I can tell? So what happened is, this is the pushrod cup. Just like Scorpions are the same. It's a hardened steel insert pressed into the aluminum rocker body. And on the damaged one, what you'll see is what happened was, lifter is down here, it gets ground away, so it moves down closer, well, it moves away from the rocker because it gets shorter as it's ground away, and then you end up with a lot of lash right here. And then so what happened is the push rod popped out of the push rod seat and was just, doing the boot scoot boogie right on the aluminum here that's not meant for that. So it's cosmetic. It was just cosmetic damage. I don't have any concerns about running that, but it did hammer on this aluminum and mushroomed a little bit of it partially over that push rod cup. So that's what you see me grinding away and kind of dressing, and then I clean it out really good. And yeah, I don't have any issues running that one. I'm not worried about it. I should say too, this one, there's no snap rings on it right now. These will all have side-to-side play like this. That's normal. It shouldn't be excessive, but you'll see that the new ones that are on there, those Scorpions, have that also. But the reason I knew that the bearings were worn, so when it's on the engine and you see me wiggling it, this is moving in an arc. And that's where the problem becomes, because you have the pushrod guide plate on this side and the rocker trunnion and then the valve. So the pushrod and the valve are in a line. The trunnion is meant to be exactly perpendicular. So if this trunnion can no longer hold the rocker exactly perpendicular, the roller tip can scooch off of the valve, and that should not happen. And I believe that's the only way that you get this kind of damage. Because to me, that's the valve going up and down, and at some point it slides like this and it pushes the valve open with that part right there, which is not meant for that. The way it kind of transpired is I noticed they seemed a little sloppy. None of the poly locks were loose. On the passenger side, I noticed that one broken snap ring. And I think I correctly identified that as not the problem, but a symptom of the problem, right? None of these are overheated or look like they've been starved for oil, right? Because if they were oil starved, they would probably be blue. There would probably be shavings, those kind of things. You would see heat markings. The trunnions would probably be blue on the edges if that's what caused this. Due diligence, right? Did I clean these when I installed them? And remember, I bought these new. Okay, here's my valve train soup, is what I'm calling it. These are all brand new parts, and this is a bunch of denatured alcohol in my cleaning tub. And I'll just show you this, see if you can kind of see the glitter and metal shavings in there. Guys, don't ever assume that your brand new parts are clean. There's stuff from machining and stuff that doesn't get cleaned out all the way, so that's your responsibility. I pre-lubed the engine before I started it. So about 75 to 80 pounds of oil pressure. Do they get enough oil while they're on the engine running? Well, take a look at this and you tell me what you think. I'm not trying to compare these rockers to the Scorpions in particular, because these are not the same, right? These are die-cast aluminum. These are more of a mild deal. These were like $250 new when I bought them. The Scorpions that I put on there, those are like $500, $550 new. So, I mean, they're not the same thing. They're a billet body rocker. Are these bearings just junk in the first place? Well, I don't think so. Not this part number, this line of bearings. I'm not saying these particular ones aren't junk, but you know what? They're made in USA. At least that's what's stamped on there. And these are the exact same part number, exact same bearing that are in those Scorpions. Okay, this is what we got going on here. Got a box of Scorpions and a tray of comps. Here's the one that I've already done. I've measured both of these trunnions and they are identical, except the center part here on the comp is a little thicker and the comp is just a tickle longer to the outside, which that doesn't really affect anything because where the snap ring grooves are is the same. This comp has some kind of parkerized or nitride coating on it. The Scorpion does not, so that probably means that the Scorpion is probably made out of better metal, but kind of up a creek without a paddle right now. So, okay, I know this looks like I have a spoil of riches here, but believe me, I don't. So this is the most efficient way that I have found to take these apart. I don't have the right kind of snap rings. These are actually, they're snap ring pliers. These are some kind of jewelry situation, but the pins fit, but they don't. They're meant to squeeze, not spread. Do with that what you will. I'm keeping all those, but I'm probably not reusing them. Well, I know I'm not in this situation. Okay, so both snap rings off. I'll go through and do the rest of these, because all we need out of these guys are the trunnions. These guys right here, because these scorpion rockers are pedestal mount, and I need 7/16 stud mount. Okay, this is the most efficient way I've found to do this. A 3/4 inch socket is big enough to fit just around the bearing and support the rocker body. I have a punch. It is just a little bit smaller than the trunnion. So here we go. Still being gentle, but just know that we are not reusing these bearings. And when I handle these and move them around without the trunnion in there, the rollers fall out, which the Scorpions do not seem to do that. So there's your bearing. They are made in the USA, but I don't know, man. I don't know. These have been off the truck for a couple days. Look how much oil there is on that shaft still. Here's my little operation here. I'm putting these all together with the trunnions from the comp rockers, which are for a 7/16 stud, and all the rest of the parts are the Scorpion rockers, so I'm only using the trunnions. So here's my program. When I get all done with this, I have one to do a little bit of extra work on that I'll do last, and I'll show you that. But all right, so here's one of my good rockers, one of my new-ish ones. I'm gonna try to remember how I did all this. So still got the bearing in there. Never took that side out because I didn't need to. I'm going to put the shaft in. I'm going to take, this is one of the Scorpion snap rings. Get my little not real snap ring pliers. Pop that guy on. Okay, so that's in there. Now all we need to do is press another bearing in this side. So these are the Scorpion bearings. So we're going to put that on there. Start pressing it in the vise. And once it's started and it's going straight, then I'll show you. Obviously going pretty slow and paying attention to if something gets tight or doesn't feel right, we need to pull it off and take a look. So I think I stole my socket for something else, but I've got one of the old bearing cages that I'm going to put on there like that, and then I'm going to put a socket over this side so it doesn't put any pressure on that side of the trunnion, and I'll press this in the rest of the way. I'll do a couple like that and show you. Okay, I got a 3/4 inch socket, which will fit over the snap ring and everything. Okay, I'm going to try to get that lined up. Whoa. This guy is shifting around on there a little bit. And you don't quite go all the way till it stops. So I'm kind of watching, because I think I'm about there. A couple of them I made too tight, and then I had to kind of tap it back out a little bit. But if you see how that bearing sits, and then the other side should also be like that. I think that needs to go just a hair more. It probably doesn't matter, but maybe just like one little half squeeze, you know? Okay, I still have a little bit of play, and it spins nice and smooth. So let's see if I can get the second snap ring on there. And it's not the cleanest in here, I realize that, but as I did last time, I'm going to clean these in mineral spirits. I'll soak them in there, brush them, the whole deal. Okay, so here's another one. Roller bearings, totally fine. So I'm going to take my comp rocker shaft, put her in there. That's just for assembly. These obviously need to be cleaned. Tricky part is keeping this little booger lined up. You little devil. Okay, that's going to be it for this one. Please help a guy out. Put your, true crime podcast, home computer detective skills to work on this one. All the videos about all this are on my channel. If you guys see something I missed or did wrong, let me know. I wanted to get this all in one episode, but it's getting kind of long, so do the thing, click the thing. I'll put the videos here too at the end. I'm not an influencer. I used to do forums and I still kind of do. If you ever look me up on Ford Truck Enthusiasts and like the Corral and stuff like that, my name is High Voltage. If you ever want to holler at me on there. I always did forum, like build threads of my builds. YouTube is kind of now the natural evolution of that, because now I can do it in a video and get it to a wider audience. But I appreciate you all doing your part to help with that, and I appreciate you just for watching. So thank you. See you on the next one.